So we're gonna talk a little bit about meditation, because meditation kind of goes into mindfulness, but essentially, and this is me paraphrasing because I'm not a meditation expert, but what meditation does, it just allows you to slow your brain down. You know, we talk about how busy everything's going, the overload, your phone's always going off,
Yeah.
TV, all this stuff, the world's ending, every other Saturday type of thing. So meditation is a way that you can just slow yourself down and then allow yourself to think. So your brain essentially is two brains. You have your lizard brain, meaning the one that fight or flight, that instant reaction, that road rage, all
Yeah.
those kind of instant ones. Then you have your more advanced brain. That's the one that has the cognitive thought. That's the one that tends to have more empathy, compassion. So what meditation does is allow you to slow your brain down enough so that when an emotion hits you, instead of reacting, you can take a moment just to think,
Yeah.
or just a moment just to wait, actually, and that allows you to have a much better reaction to something that's happening in the environment. You can be much calmer. When something happens, when someone cuts you off, less birds, less flipping birds. Um, and so I highly recommend. So one of the mindsets with mindfulness is to do a little bit of meditation. I'm not looking for you guys to be a Tibetan monk and to sit for 30 minutes
Okay.
and to clear your head. And there's many ways to do it. I would just recommend start with 3 minutes. And in those 3 minutes, all to focus on is to focus on your breathing. It's to actually just hear yourself take a deep breath in and then release it, just slowly. And that process of slowing down really starts to create just a little bit of a calming effect. Um, and so, you do that for a little bit. There are some YouTube where you can have some of the music, almost like the yoga style,
Yeah.
or meditation music, or you can do it in silence. It depends on just how it is. But it's amazing. Even just doing 3 minutes, and I think you want to try to get to about 5 to 10 minutes on a slow, take your time. But it's amazing how that will just put you in a more, and it's not even a positive mindset. It just makes things just a little, it makes your brain process a little slower. It makes you feel a little cleaner on making decisions moving forward.
Ah.
We made the computer how our brain works. And so when you sit in that mindfulness meditation state, you're closing windows. So what happens all day, you have all these windows up. You have your past and what was happening. You have this thing you've been thinking about. You keep keeping yourself busy. So what happens when you try to go to sleep at night? This is what happens to most of us. That's why we'll talk about sleep too, because this is what happens. You run around all day. You're doing all this stuff. And then you try to close your eyes. And all those windows you haven't closed.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden at the same time, boom, your brain starts racing.
It does.
And it creates, that type. So what you're doing essentially with that meditation is you're just closing little windows. And when you start to close the windows down, it really, really, you can really focus on what you need to focus on. The brain needs to go out and play. It needs its time to think, and sometimes the thoughts, you're not going to sit there and you may find a cure for cancer or world peace while you're sitting there. But sometimes you might just think about the weirdest things. You might have a Family Guy moment in your head, and that's okay. I think it's giving your brain just that space to operate is really where the benefits, come from. So closing the windows is probably the biggest aspect of it.